And stories, because facts tell, stories sell, not just to others but to ourselves. Bruce always tells and used to tell us that the quality of the questions that you ask yourself, the quality of the question that you ask yourself determines the quality of the answers that you give yourself, and the quality of the answers that you give yourself determine the quality of the results that you get, right? If someone goes, why me? Wrong question, right? That's not a good quality question. Why me? Because it's not going to cause you to put forth the necessary effort that it takes to obtain the results that you wish to obtain when you're constantly questioning why me, or what's wrong with that person, right? When you're recruiting, what's wrong with that person? What was that? I know Marin said something to me earlier this week about somebody, or maybe it was Lelix, I don't know, somebody questioning the intelligence of the person you're recruiting. Like it's not, that's not a quality question, but the quality of the questions you ask yourself determine the quality of the results that you get. So I've brought on Marin Zinsmeyer to share a story with her that I felt was actually pretty powerful for me. And I feel as though if it's powerful for me, powerful for a lot of you guys. Did I break up? Okay, so Marin, can you unmute yourself really fast? Yeah. Marin.
Hi.
Marin, where did you go this week?
I went up to New York.
You went all the way up to?
All the way up to New York, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the 5 boroughs either. It was like upstate New York.
It's like country. It's like upper class country.
Right. Hold on, guys. Shaq's calling me. Marin, tell him your story really fast, and what, just tell him the story I wanted you to tell him.
Okay, so there are times when our industry really gives you a smack in the face about how amazing it is. So not to go into it too much, but my mom has been in the hospital for about 5 weeks now. She started out in the hospital in my hometown, and they moved her to Westchester, which from my hometown is 2 hours away. And my dad has been driving every day 2 hours each way to go and visit her. And he only gets to see her for 2 hours at a certain time from 2 to 6 because of COVID. So I've been getting things together, and I drove up there on Sunday. And from Sunday to Thursday, I drove him every day. And I couldn't go in to see her. I had to sit in the car and wait for him. So I drove 2 hours, sat in the car, and then drove 2 hours back. The beauty of our business is I had my laptop, I had my phone, I had my mouse, I had all my security stuff. I was doing calls and Zoom calls with team members and recruiting calls and studying for SIEs in the car. Now, I'm a dental hygienist. That's what my degree is in. That's not my passion. If I was working dental hygiene, I would not have been able to do that for my dad. And I'm gonna try not to cry. The gratitude on his face of just driving him, you can't replace that. And this is a long road for my mom, and she's doing better, but I'm gonna be going back there in a week, and I'm gonna do the same darn thing. And I can do that because of our business.
Yes, thank you, Marin. Very, very powerful, because people don't get it sometimes. Like you don't realize what you got until it's gone. That's a cliche, right? And you don't know what you don't know from the the prior standpoint, you don't know what you don't know. So, you know, some folks out there are, you know, they have jobs. I believe that the number one thing that you can do to literally solve every single thing that you wish to accomplish in can by recruiting. By recruiting. See, now look, Maren shared a very powerful story, but watch this. You take it a notch further, and she gets to go up to New York and doesn't have to do any meetings at all. No meetings whatsoever. Why? Because she's built a big base shop, which happens by recruiting, and she's got producers and leaders that are doing meetings. And she doesn't have to worry about income, bills, like those are going to get paid because she's built a field force. Like that's the next step up. But just the fact that she doesn't have to report to anybody, Lord have mercy, except herself. Wow, what an incredible, incredible story. And by the way, guys, the point of this training is to let you guys know that each and every one of you, literally every single one of you, right, except those that are full-time, I mean, including you guys, but like, I think there's just Dante, Shondell, and Maren and Morgan, Dante, Shondell, Maren, Josh, that I know of that are full-time. Everyone else that has something on the side or a full-time, you are 90 days away from quitting that ish. 90 days.
Or less.
So, or less, or less. Actually, it could and should be less. We're gonna go over see, and I'll get into it, but we're gonna go over a 60-day cycle.
Hey, Josh, I'm gonna jump on Shaq's training, okay? Thank you for
so
letting
much.
me share. All right, guys, let's kick butt for April.
Thank you,
Bye,
Maren.
thank you.
Bye.
So your life you are in life right now because of the decisions that you have made for the last 90 days minimum, okay, to 6 months, I would say. You are where you are in life because of the last 90 days to 6 months. And I believe that you could be in a completely different space, financially, promotion-wise, team-wise, attendance-wise, recruiting-wise, within that 90 days. But what to focus on? I've got stories that I'd like to share, but we'll do that towards the end. Let's get started here. So recruiting is what's going to do it. It solves everything. So you look back at your second quarter, you should go on POL, go to all apps for business, hit trend track, and look at the last 3 months of your business. And you want to see growth each and every month in your recruiting. Does it happen like that all the time? No, just like in the market, the stock market, there's peaks and there's dips. So will there be in your business. We were looking yesterday that like for me, I recruited 25 people, something, 20 something in January. Then it dipped down to 12 in February, but I picked it back up to 15 last month. But January, which is supposed to be a slow, quote unquote, slow month, was the biggest month for me in terms of recruiting. So you pick the best month of the 3 in the first quarter and you beat it. Even if just by 1 recruit, you beat it this month in April. Okay. That is like a bare bones minimum. Pick the best month that you did. So like for Morgan, right, that was 6, yes? So you beat it by a bare bones minimum doing 7 in April. However, kick off and lift off speed in this business is double-digit recruiting. Getting 10 recruits, not 7, not 8, not 9, 10. Double-digit recruiting will literally cause you to do everything else that you want. And why is that? I think Shondell has a more elaborative explanation on why the number's 10, which she'll go through. But bare bones minimum, pick your best month in the first quarter recruiting, beat it by 1, or just freaking double-digit recruit. Because double-digit recruiting, it leads to more appointments. Because when you go, I think I'm getting ahead of myself here from the slides that we created. I know that are coming up here. Let's just put it this way: when you double-digit recruit, they need to get trained, okay? And when they need to get trained, they take you on appointments. And on those appointments, you will find insurance. You will find investments. Because people don't know what's going on. Marin just did an appointment, okay? And this is why definitely everyone needs their securities license. Because opportunities just fall into your lap. Joel speaks Spanish. So what if Joel, okay, recruits somebody direct to him who works at a grocery store as a manager and has employees that speak 90%, 80% Spanish and 20% English. And now that direct is, even if they're licensed, incapable of training that Spanish speaking client. Joel can do it because the opportunity practically fell in his lap. That's what it's like when you have your securities license too. That's what it's like when you are a top recruiter too. And you know your stuff and you're a top trainer. People want to take you in the field, right? So it's not just about recruiting. Okay, recruiting, everything is a byproduct of recruiting and mastering your skills. I was listening to something that I make it my business to listen to before the start of every new quarter and really every month. And it's the first video that you look up on Jim Rohn on YouTube. Literally the first 2-hour video that pops up with Jim Rohn. I literally memorized almost every word in that seminar. And one thing that he says is that, life in business is like the changing seasons. You can't get rid of January by taking it off of the calendar. And after spring comes summer, and after summer comes fall, and after fall comes winter. And sometimes there's short winters, and sometimes there's long winters, and some like April where it's freaking cold in April for some reason, right? That sometimes the winters are almost unbearable, and sometimes they sail along. But one thing we know for sure is how sure can we be that winter is going to come after fall? 100%. It's never going to change. It's been that way for 2,000 years, as long as we can remember. So we shouldn't be, that should not be a daunting thing to us. We shouldn't be scared by that. If someone goes, oh my gosh, winter's here, winter's here. Or better yet, if someone goes, the sun goes up and then what? The sun comes down, and the guy says, oh my gosh, the sun's going down. It's dark, it's dark. And you look at that same guy, it's like he must have not been here on Earth that long, because it does that. It gets dark about the same time. So if we know that these things are going to happen, right? and we can't do anything to change it, how in the world is life going to get better for us? And the answer is when you get better, right? Life gets better for you when you get better. If nothing's going to change in terms of the weather, right? How is life going to get better for me? Answer, when I change. And what a brilliant place to start. The beginning of the second quarter. And if you didn't have a great first quarter, you can mentally scrap every single thing that happened in the first quarter, because God has given you an opportunity to completely transform life in the next months. by at night, mastering products, okay? Going on YouTube, learning whole life, universal life, getting your securities license, mastering variable annuities, mutual funds, overcoming objections, the presentation, okay? And you don't gotta think about that stuff anymore. And you can simply focus on the one thing that will bring you everything you need, which is recruiting. So you master that stuff, and you master recruiting, and you focus 90% of your energy on recruiting. You know, there's something called the Pareto principle, and it says that 80% of anything will yield 20% of the results that are gotten. And 20% of anything, including what you spend your time on, will yield 80% of the results. Now, if I decided that I got licensed, okay, I didn't grow up when I was a child saying, wow, I can't wait to sell life insurance. God, that's my dream. Lord, if I could just sell some life insurance. This wasn't my dream when I was younger, right? I actually wanted to go to the NFL. That was my dream. And why? It was because of the fame. It was because it was a fun game, right? But it was because of the fame, right? The crowd, the appreciation, and the millions, the money that I was gonna make, right? So, if I know that focusing 80% of my energy on production is not going to yield me that stuff, but if I focus 80% of my time on recruiting and everything else will follow, make a decision today to only focus your time and energy on the thing that brings everything else with it. If you focus on recruiting, and Shondel's going to go through the building cycle, okay? Because it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes about 60 days, 90 days. But if you focus and execute properly over the next 60 to 90 days, you will license those recruits. And they will know what they're doing. And you will create a leg. And sometime in the future, the top producers and builders within that leg, they'll become brokers. And Primerica's corporation pays you as a regional vice president that produces regional vice presidents royalties, right? Everyone wants to be man, I wish I could sing and I could rap. Everyone wants to be a rapper and be on stage and you know, getting paid $250,000 a show, which is due income, by the way, active income, okay? And they want the royalties from the songs they make, right? There's a man on Netflix, well, they made a movie about him, James Brown. He said, get up off of that thing. And what's crazy is he is dead, but his family is still receiving royalties from that song. Get up off of that thing. Come on. And do you get better? And we all want royalties, right? But for some, I don't even know, reason, we focus on the things that don't yield us royalties, which is recruiting. Anyways, let's get into the actual cycle on how, like, where do you start? Where do you, like, so it starts by going and getting a brand new direct recruit, really 2 to 4 of them. And then you do an orientation. How do you go from orientation to the end? Shondell is going to, like, the end result. She's going to go through that.
She's like, that's my part.
All right, awesome. So yeah, guys, it's really exciting to have these conversations with you guys. And these are things that are going through our minds on a regular basis. The building cycle. Everybody talks about the sales cycle. And if you're a great recruiter and builder, you probably know about real estate and their sales cycle and comparing it to our business and how it works. And in real estate, there's a long sales cycle process where from meeting a client to helping them buy a home, showing them the home 6 months to a year later, hopefully they buy that home and then you get compensated. Here, we can help somebody and we know the sales cycle. You set an appointment, you do the appointment, you close, maybe do a carryback, then close, you get paid 2 to 3 days later. Shorter sales cycle. Everybody knows that as far as being a producer, but here in recruiting, do you know the building cycle? What do you need to do? And you really have to think about how quickly can you get somebody from IBA to becoming a 10K leg, right? Shaq started talking about snap, crackle, pop. First, you have to become a great producer and do 10K, and that's going to come from recruiting, training, and developing people. Now, once you do it, that's snap. Then crackle is when you have another 10K leg outside of you doing it, right? So that's crackle. And then pop, you have 2 other 10K legs, you're going vice president. That's what you guys got to be thinking about and focusing on, so you can get to the point of having an awesome replacement by the time you go RVP. And then just, I mean, building 10K producing legs, that should be your #1 focus as a recruiter and a builder, right? But it starts in stages. So here, but ask yourself that question on a regular basis. How quickly can you get somebody from IBA to 10K leg? So critical points, Josh mentioned this. So you want to start, obviously you got to get them on the orientation video, have them watch Samir, but then you have to do a fast start meeting. And the fast start meeting is the most important meeting with that new recruit, because there you're going to find out, do they have a market? I know we utilize the 4-minute name game, which we've learned from Dante, and it's been absolutely unbelievable since we've learned it from him. And it's definitely changed our business and in this entire hierarchy, because I think everybody now is doing the 4-minute name game with their new recruits. So with that, the fast start meeting, do they have a market? So you play the 4-minute name game, you figure out if they can take you to see people, if they know people, right? You're not recruiting somebody just to say, sweet, I got an IBA. That's not why we're recruiting people. We're recruiting people for 2 reasons: to help figure out if they can become one of your leaders or have them take you to go see other people. Those are the major reasons. There's no other reason. Not to win a contest, not to win the trip, not to get the incentive. It's to find out if they can take you to go see people or if they can become one of your leaders. So in that fast start meeting, you got to find out if they have a market. Then the next step is, are they going to let you build under them, right? So once you get that initial inventory, and is that recruit going to let you send out the text messages, or will they send out the text messages? Will they give you the, I don't know, I'm gonna talk to them first. I don't know if I feel comfortable sending the text. I don't know, this person I just don't think that this is gonna be for them. If they start giving you all of those objections, I'm not gonna be taking too much time with that person, because they're not going to let me build under them. You have to have somebody that is open, that is coachable to the system and is going to let you work for them. But also you have to be really good at construing the picture that you are going to build for them and why they should let you build for them, right? You have to talk about, in our Fast Start meeting, we talk about why is it important to have a team, because that's where the passive income is going to come in. That's where in one night you can make $1,200. How? If you have other licensed agents producing as well, overrides. So we talk about that, so they feel that if they don't recruit, you're missing out. Hey, you can be a district leader and you can write sales and be on a 50% contract, but you're in sales. You have to continue to write sales. But if you build a team, you can have that passive income. And so you have to help construe that to them, right? Because a picture's worth 1,000 words. And so we show that in our Fast Start meeting. Then the